Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just go back to the live area for a bit so that static sound doesn't annoy you too much. This is Blue Maxima, and I'm here checking out Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters Daybreak Special Gigs World Tour. That's a hell of a name, isn't it? So this is an expanded re-release of Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters, which came out like a year ago or something like that. It wasn't that long ago, but it did come out quite recently. And it's an interesting re-release because they haven't really changed that much. They've changed a little bit, but they've changed very little of the actual game. They've added a few things here and there, and we'll get into what those are shortly. But I'm not actually far enough into the game to actually see those yet. And judging by everything I've read up on this version of Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters, it's basically the same as the previous one. So the 2 or 3 hours that I put into it so far, more than enough for me in my first impressions style series. So we're just going to go right back in and immediately go to the options menu. There's not that much to see here though, admittedly. We're looking at just a voice volume meter, a sound effects volume meter, a background music meter, and a text speed. That's basically it. So we'll just go hit continue. And we'll load directly into my current game. I've finished the first 3 chapters out of 13. And then there's a bunch of new scenarios they've added in between that are called the Daybreak scenarios. And I can't tell you whether or not those are actually any good or not because I haven't made it that far yet because this is a first impression series. But considering this is Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters and they haven't actually changed that much back in the previous segments, I'm going to make the assumption that they're just bonus levels with an extra side story on top. But yeah, we're going to go through this like you guys haven't seen it before. I have seen all this before, which means I skipped through most of the dialogue, but I still had to take like 2 hours to get through most of this anyway. But anyway, off we go. So this is the main area that you come to at the beginning or end of every scenario. And we can hit the light switch in order to go to the next scenario, which is exactly what we're going to do. You can hear some of the voice acting back there. Japanese only, no English dub. And there's not actually that much voice acting to begin with. The only bits that are voice acted are bits at the end of every story chapter. Which is a little strange, but yeah. So this is pretty much playing out exactly the same as the previous game so far. So the idea is, you've got all these scenes that justify what the main characters are doing. The main characters are called the Gatekeepers, and they're ghost hunters. But, I mean, if the name didn't tell you that, I don't know what will. But the idea is that you have to hunt down ghosts, and you do this via finding clients, as for example, in the story modes like this, or you can go and get side quests that'll give you like bonus money and items and stuff like that. And you find ghosts, and you gotta try and take them down. And so this is just the story, more or less. Funnily enough, you have to actually press the R button in order to get the text to move along here. It's very unusual. And yes, that guy did just murder his boss, because this is exactly how it went in the previous game. Then you get a little intro, but that's just the intro video to the game. It'll probably get me copyright strike, so we're going to skip it. Really not that interesting a way to present your story, I gotta say, but there is one thing that makes it interesting, but I wonder if I'm actually going to see any of it at this point, so I'm just going to skip through the rest of this, honestly, because you've seen enough. It is just these text screens and these little animations, and sometimes you get choices that'll let you bond with your people a bit. And then you get these. These are the emotion wheels, and the idea is you're meant to pick one of these to determine how you do an action, and then you pick one of your 5 senses. So, for example, if I was to pick the love heart, and then I was to pick the tongue, this happens. Cheeky. But yeah, you can do all these sorts of weird sensory things that'll get different reactions from the cast. However, another problem Let's just do it again, because why not? This is all I've been doing, right? Yep. That's all I've been doing, because I've been bored, basically. Because this is exactly the same way it went down in the previous game. But anyway. But yeah. The idea with the story is that with that 5 cents interface there, the idea is that you're actually meant to find the right sense and the right way to handle it in order to actually what's the word I'm looking for? In order to get the true ending of the story. That's how it was in the previous game. I was hoping they would have changed that in this game, because the way it works in this game is that you kind of need to get absolutely extremely lucky in order to get all the right bits. And at least the previous game actually warned you about it. But yeah. It's just, I'm 99% certain they kept the system where you have to get the right one in order to get the true ending. And in order to get that, you have to play through the game at least twice. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure why they decided to keep that around. But anyway, the story continues and you just pick whatever the bloody hell you please. And sometimes you get it right, sometimes you'll get it wrong. Would you please stop licking the floor? Yes, that happens a lot. Oddly enough, the game has this weird idea of what you do every time you actually do the same action. It's kind of strange, but it's unfortunate. Because you might think that you're going to try and, like, do something that you think you might be doing one thing, but then you'll end up doing something entirely different. It's weird. But yeah, the story scenes are actually quite long, and they take a really long time to get through as well, which kind of takes away from the pace of the whole thing. But I think we're at the end now. No. Oh, no, we are at the end. Alright, so we're back here again, and this is where you spend most of your time in between missions doing stuff. You can go to the locker to equip different items. So you can, yeah, you have to give different people different weapons. So I can give my guy a folding chair, and some of them can only equip specific weapons. So if I equip, wait, where's the guitarist guy? There he is. So if I give this guy the Night Paul, he's now got stronger attack. We can also give him a white veil that looks absolutely freaking ridiculous, but we'll do it anyway. And you can also give him accessories. They'll give him different bonuses. And this one here, I think gives me resist to, is that blind? I think it is. There's a bunch of different status effects you can do, and you can carry around lots of different items, but I'd only recommend carrying around things like hot dog buns, because you'll need those traps in order to actually, like, set them pre-mission, and it's kind of nice, but yeah, not that big of a deal. It's a pretty standard RPG system. If we go to the whiteboard, we can do training with people. You earn TP, or training points, every time you finish a mission, or every time you play Hypernatural, and we'll be getting around to what Hypernatural is shortly. And using your TP, you can spend either 10 points to train with someone, increase their individual abilities. You'll get the little animation here. Then they'll get skill points. You'll get a weapon for it, or just an item for it. So this time I've gone to Bell, which is pretty nice, because that's actually a decent weapon to give her. And once you've leveled up people enough, you'll be allowed to start training skills from them. So as you can see, I've got 4 different skills here, and these are all skills taken from different people, which is kind of nice. So if I have a bell equipped, I can use this bell attack with fear, but unfortunately I don't have a bell on this guy, so that's not going to work. But yeah, you can get different skills from people if you feel like it. Attack up when item is broken, that's actually kind of useless, because you never want to actually do that. And yeah, it costs points to learn these skills as well. So as you level up all your teammates, you'll get more skill slots, they'll get more skills that they can use, and it's an interesting system, I gotta say, especially if you can get people high enough to get really interesting skills out of it. It's a pretty neat system for building your own guy, although it takes a little bit of time to get anything really going. That's actually a good weapon. I might use that. It's kind of nice that you get so many items. I think they've rebalanced the game somewhat so that early game progress is a bit easier, because I've been doing alright, and last time I was really struggling to get through the game, so It's actually kind of nice. But, yeah, I will equip that poker, because that actually looks pretty useful. But yeah, I'm currently using a tabloid as a shield. And it is actually a tabloid from the company I work for. Or I can put on a gator skin. Okay. Alright, I'll take being a tank. So yeah, we've gone through the whiteboard and the locker. The photo album literally just lets you see those little 2D animations again. I mean, don't get me wrong, the 2D animations are kind of neat, but at the same time, why would you watch them more than once? I don't really know, but yeah. If we go to... The poster is where you save and load. The briefing desk is where you go to brief, and we'll go to that shortly. If we go to the welcome mat, we can go to the tech lab, where we can buy, like, new traps and stuff. So yeah, we can buy weapons, we can buy traps, we can buy all sorts of neat little things. EMF detector. Yep, and you need specific ingredients available as well, which is it's not the here are the ingredients. Not the best system in the world, but it works, and these items are actually pretty damn useful because you do need a You can use a lot of these items in a lot of different situations. We'll get we'll get onto how they all work shortly. But yeah, as you can see, it's just a shop system really. It's not like it's too hard to understand. I'll buy another EMF scanner. Stuff costs a fair amount of money actually, but oh well. We'll go back to GK. There is also a shop that we will go to, because why not? We don't need to go to the car either, at least not yet. Yeah, we get to pick the lottery out. Third place, I get a hot dog bun. I also get to pick a lot of tickets. Vegetables. A weapon and an ingredient. Just some table salt. Am I ever gonna get the oh! As soon as I open my mouth. Why did I get a bra? Come on. Give me a break. But anyway, you can come here to buy stuff as well, which is, you know, nice. Oh hey, we can actually buy a bunch of comic books, and those will actually give some extra defense, so I'll do that just for the moment. And I get to pick another ticket, and it's another booby prize. Back we go. Alright, so we're gonna go back to the locker and equip those new items on everybody who isn't me, because the extra HP will be nice. Anyway, so if we go to the PC, we can see a couple of things. We can see our regular website, and if we hit this little thing down here, this little green thing, we can get some rewards for how many side quests we do. Like, for example, depending on where you go to do a side quest, you'll get points, and you can exchange these points for, well, any of this, really. With a metal spike attached to the whip, yep, that's actually pretty neat. I'll get that. So, yeah. You can do that, and if you're on this website and you press L and R, this is how you get to the side quests. So there's a bunch of different side quests here. They'll tell you what ghost types there are, how they move, and how long they'll be sticking around for, and what the difficulty of said cases are. We'll only be doing these instead of the main story quest, because the main story quest will lead to another really long text scene that'll be unskippable. So yeah. We've got 2 side quests that we can do the difficulty number 2, so we might as well go do them. And to do them, we go over to the briefing desk. Now, while we're at the briefing desk, we can choose either to do the priority quests or the standard quests, and the standard quests are fairly different. Disrobing short head nose. Let's not do that first. Let's do the standing behind white repairman. Yeah, it's a bit weird. So you're given the floor plan of the area you're expected to go along to and flush out the ghost for. And if we hit accept, we can choose... Yeah. If there's a maintenance cost, we just have to make the same trap. Yada, yada, yada. Yep. So we have the ability to set down traps before the level begins, which is a neat little concept, because the idea is that you want to try and make it so that the ghost is trapped, and there are a lot of places this ghost can appear. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to seal off this area here. Yeah, we're going to want to seal these areas off so that they can't realistically get through here, and some better use of table salt will let me use other stuff better. We do have different kinds of salt as well, so we've got salt that can go really long range that will prevent them from moving. We can even do diagonals, but it all costs money, and as you can see in the bottom left there, 8 out of 16. That means we have a limited amount of things that we can put down. The ghost type in this one is a human, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to put down a lucky cat, and the lucky cat will grab its attention and will start moving towards it. We've also got ways to force them to move in different directions, and force them to, like, take damage. So, for example, here we can do HP and AP damage, depending on if we feel like it. I'm actually going to get the Heart Sutra and put these down here. So, if it runs into these, it'll take HP damage, which will be very useful. We can also give it ailments if we feel like it. So, if I put one of these down in here somewhere, it might actually hurt itself, which would be a nice little thing. Do I not have the money for this, or am I just... Or is... Oh, wait, it's probably because it, It's probably because I'm putting it over the top of something, so if I put it down here, can't place anything more, right, because I'm out of space, aren't I? Great, that's not fun. What else we got? We can put down a tuning fork. Nope, that won't help either. Yep. Figured. Alright, let's just put down some EMF scanners so that we can determine where the ghost will be as quickly as possible, because we need to put them down in places where they're likely to actually detect where the ghost is, because as you can see, the red X's are where they're supposed to appear. So if I put them all down here like this, that means that I'll be likely to see them as soon as they come on the map, which will be a nice little change. And as you can see, we also have a contingency fee, which is what will be paid at the end of the mission, but we also have to spend money to actually get in there and start working on finding the ghosts. So, the idea is that we want to try and keep as low of a budget as possible, but, you know, just sometimes you have to spend a lot of money, make a lot of money. So, I think we're all good to go here. So, let's hop on in, shall we? If I hit start, we'll be given the option to bring along a couple of people. Unfortunately, I won't be able to bring along Kosuge, who is actually quite useful. So we'll be just going along with 3 people this time. A little unfortunate, but have I actually? No, I haven't won another charm yet. Shame. It is basically the same story-wise so far as Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters, the original. There are some gameplay changes, but frankly, they're not really that big. Like, I didn't even notice, but you do have the ability to do more than one action per turn this time. However, it costs a lot of AP to do it. But otherwise, the combat, which we're about to see, is almost exactly the same. Alright, we've got the main target, we've got 6 turns to take them out, and we know where they are and where they're likely to move. That's a very good start. So, we also have something falling for the decoy, which is also better. So this game is, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of turn-based, but at the same time, everything takes the same moves. So everything moves at the same time is what I'm trying to say, actually. So, we can send our guys down via movements, and it costs AP to send them in, make them turn, or make them drop items or use attacks. So we want to make as effective use of our AP as possible in order to get in there and take out the ghosts ASAP. So in we go. Alright. We have a ghost there. And it's likely to go for the decoy, because it has fallen for the decoy, as far as I can tell. So, we have our boys in position, and we can start to move them in. We move this guy up here, and we can use any one of his skills. We've got a few. So we can make him paralyze nearby ghosts, we can do a poison attack, or we can do a normal attack, which is a really wide range. But thankfully, we know he's probably going to wander his way down there, so we'll just get him to do a poison attack and then just wait there. But you can also move after you've done your, like, main attack. So, alright, skills. Alright, I can do an attack, and then, just out of curiosity, can I move forward and then attack again? I will do both of them. However, it's worth noting that if you attack where you think a ghost is, but it turns out there's not a ghost there, but there's an object there, it'll actually damage it, and it'll come out of your end of mission performance, which is very unfortunate. You do not want that to happen. But let's just see if we can hit that other ghost. Oh, wow. Okay, so I got one attack in there, but that didn't work. But now he's moving forward again. Nope. Now he's moving forward and doing the attack. And it pulls down into these little first-person shots here, which is actually kind of neat. But they're really, really slow, which is my main problem with them. Mainly because they just take so long to play out. Like, they should be playing, like, at twice the speed they currently are. You can also skip them by pressing, like, the circle button, right? You can skip them by pressing the circle button, but I really wish there was a way to, like, turn these off altogether just to keep the gameplay moving quickly. Wow, did I seriously just finish that in 2 turns? I did. 2 guys there, I only killed one of them. But yeah, this is the budget screen, so unfortunately we had to pay for the school bag. What's the school bag doing there? I don't know. But yeah, we get a profit, and we get a rank, and everybody involved gets XP. When you level up, you get to put up your stats a bit. And then you get TP, you get shell points, you get special items. So, wow, jumpsuit, that's water resistant. There is elemental attributes as well. So, yeah, there's a fair amount of stuff to do, and noticeably that was a lot faster than my original showing off of Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters. So you know what? Bugger it. We'll do the story mission this time, because why not? So, this will be very interesting. We've got a wide open space, and the game actually does put out traps that are recommended from time to time, but we don't, well, I don't really need that. What's a Veruca table? Oh, right, so if it walks into any of these, it'll automatically get stunned, which is, that's actually a pretty neat trap. I don't mind that, but actually, you know what? We will leave that, because why not? But it is an interesting battle system because of the way it works, where you have to actually set up the battlefield to work to your advantage and then send everyone in order to try and actually, you know, hurt the ghost, which is it's a really nice idea. It's just the story is really long-winded, and with needing to get all the right elemental, all the right, what the bloody hell do they call it? They call it like a 5-sense wheel or something like that, and I don't know why, but considering that you need to do that in order to get to the true end of the story, and then you have to play through the game again in order to get the actual true end at least once, because you need to figure out what the right ways is to get to the true ending. It can be kind of annoying, honestly. But yeah, this is just another one of these little scenes here. No real point sitting around and waiting for this, but yeah. Writing isn't fantastic. It's the same script that was in Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters. It's just, unless this is really cheap, I don't see any reason not to pick this one up, except for just, you know, I mean, if you've played the original game, there's no real reason to pick this one up, except there's a few more levels halfway between. You can't import your save data from the original, which is really annoying, honestly. Like, it's surprisingly annoying just how silly that is. But don't get me wrong, I do like it. It's just, when you've got, brain work with me here. God, sorry, my head is just going completely blank. I've got a terrible headache. When you've got what is basically the same game over again. And from what I can tell, they're going to charge the same sort of retail price for it, which really sucks because I think if this game went on like a budget price, I would approve of it a lot more and I'd probably tell people to pick it up. But if this game comes out full retail price again, like $39.99, I can imagine this being a lot more... I don't know what the words I'm looking for is. It's kind of annoying that a game that is so simple, that is almost exactly the same as the previous game before it, can be released again for full price with just a few extra levels on top. It just seems a bit over the top, honestly. I mean, originally what I said about Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters is that while it was a neat concept, the story bits are a little bit annoying, and the game's balance wasn't fantastic. It was alright, it wasn't fantastic. And it would be worth picking up on sale. And my opinions really haven't changed. They've modified the balance a bit, and it's kind of nice. But other than that, it's about the same, really. It really isn't the worst thing in the world, honestly. It really does feel like that... It really does feel like the same game again. Which isn't really the worst thing in the world, but... It's just... Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's just... It's weird. It's really weird. And I really don't know why they decided to just re-release this game with a few extra story missions. It just seems odd to me. But... if you haven't played the original, this is probably worth your time picking up anyway. Because the combat really is interesting, with all the ways you can put down traps, all the ways you can draw in the different kinds of ghosts. All of this stuff here is just... all of this combat is just, like, really neat. And I do like the idea of it, and it's... I mean, it's... oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not exactly, like, sponsored, but it's not exactly done by Arc System Works, but they published it. So you'd think Arc System Works, and by Arc System Works published it, I mean they published it in Japan. It's being published by Axis. You think they'd know how to spot a cool game, and I do like the art and just the way it all looks. And the combat is fun. It's a good time. And there's a lot of it. And you can... wow, is this seriously over already? Yeah, we're done. Holy shit. God almighty. Alright. I guess I did a little bit too much grinding on the non-story mode missions, because Jesus, we just wiped the floor with that mission. I guess the balancing does work in its favor. I mean, it is a lot easier, like, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's still kind of neat, because it gives you a little bit of extra time just to fill around with the traps and stuff like that. But anyway, just another exorcism cutscene, and then... yeah. More of these scenes. And then it runs to the credits sequence. And that's kind of odd, actually, when you think about it. This game plays out in an episodic format, where it's like it has the credits and the opening scene at the start and beginning of every chapter, and it's a little strange, honestly, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And they have redone some of the story bits here. Like, they've added a couple of lines here and there that are different, and they've, as I said before, they added the Daybreak special gigs episodes. So, we'll do one more. Can I find anything that's actually hard? Because, I mean, I know I did a little bit too much grinding, but that's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, we've got a ghost list here. Yep, there's lots of different kinds of ghosts to fight. It's kind of neat. Okay, the music club, the cafe. Alright, we'll do the mission at the cafe. I've got an absolute ton of money to go spend as well, but I got nothing to spend it on. It's a really neat strategy game. I just wish there was maybe a little bit more... Oh, I did say I'd do the disrobing short-haired nurse, didn't I? I actually kind of like this level because considering that the nurse is very unlikely to... Considering that in the apartment they're very unlikely to come up outside of a very specific set of places, it's actually really easy to trap them in a place like this, but... So we can put all them down. Now, if I put the EMF scanner out here... No, I'll just put 2 regular ones here. There. There we go. Now, we'll know as soon as someone spawns in that room. Because if they spawn in that room, in the electric room there, that means they'll come down to these rooms. And if I put some table salt at these doors here, they won't be able to get out of those rooms either. And just to be safe, we'll put down some extra EMF scanners here to make sure they can't escape if they do run through there. What else can I put down to make this interesting? Right, well, what about if I put down a law? If I put down a law, that means it'll be drawn out. Actually, no, I will not put it here, I'll put it here instead. And I will put down a damage trap just out the front of that door. Actually, no, we'll take that out. Can I put the holy water down here like this? I can. Alright, so we'll try and lure it out over the HP traps, and then once it hits the thing, we'll just bang on it, and hopefully it will die horribly. And we can actually take all 4 members with us this time, which is actually pretty cool. Excuse me. Don't know what caused that burp to come up, but away we go. It is a neat game. It's just weird that they decided to put so little extra content into it. There's like 5 or 6 extra scenarios, which isn't that much. I get the rebalance is actually kind of nice. Okay, so what's the plan? Well, it's not going to be able to get to the electric port to let it move around. And there are a bunch of other things that come into it too, like all the different status effects. It's got the screen meter up there, and I'll play a game of Hypernatural after this so you know what that's like too. Because Hypernatural is probably one of the coolest references I've ever seen to anything ever, but we'll get to that. We'll just send all these guys over here and have them wait. They've all got their own different weapons, their own different types of attacks, their own different skills and stuff, so building the perfect team for a mission is actually... Nope, it's running for it. Alright. Different abilities and stuff as well, so let's get everybody into that room and basically beat the shit out of this ghost, because why not, right? Stand by. Hang on. Hang on. Annoyingly, you can't undo just one move, so you have to undo the entire movement before you can undo. You have to undo the entire movement, then do the whole thing again. It's kind of annoying, but there you go. So we just hit standby. Yep, we know where it's running to now. Now we can get in there and cut it off. And we're running quite low on time, so we better do this fast. So we'll hit you with an attack. Can I hit you with another attack? I can. I will get up close and personal. Get another attack in. Get 2 attacks in. Very useful being able to do more than one hit at once. More than one action at once in this. Especially since you can like drop down traps and stuff if you're thinking about carrying them along with all your people and stuff. It's quite neat. Yep. We're done here. Because I'm going to hit it 3 times in a row and it's going to freaking die. Flanking does also help out with these people as well. See? Because since I got the flank, that's 30 points damage compared to that 9 that I got from long distance. And Ooh. Oh, I've been poisoned. That's not good. Thankfully, we're pretty much done here, because another attack in. And... okay, the nurse has decided that it wants to try and attack me. So, that's a good thing, because since we know who it's attacking, we have a rough idea of where she's going to go, because the majority of the game is guessing where the ghosts are going to go and trying to draw them into the traps and stuff like that. So, yeah, it is a really interesting combat system. The story is not that great, but if they released this for like 20 bucks, I would have been able to recommend this to pretty much anybody, right? Except for the people who bought Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters in the first place, because that, I mean, it doesn't really add that much for them. But it's still a fun title. It's definitely a unique sort of game. So, we know that the ghost is going to go for me, so let's get an attack in on this wall. Then swing around and get another attack in this way. This guy, we'll send him in here and get him to do an area of effect attack. We'll keep you back here and just attack a bunch of times. And nope, can't move you in there. Can't move you in there. And just in case, we'll move you here and get you to do your short range attack here. And then stand by. Well, she bumped into the ghost. That's fine, though. And I'll just skip the rest of these animations. Because you can after a few seconds. It'd be nice if I could turn these off altogether if I wanted to, but yeah. So yeah, ghost is dead. I got an item drop because I've got the skill for that, which is nice. I get 20,000 profit, A rank, bunch of XP for all of that. As you can see, it's extremely easy to grind this game because all you need to do is just keep doing quests. That's all you need to do. It's kind of nice, actually. And I even got a rare guitar for that, which is nice. Now let's go play Hypernatural. Yes, this is a reference to Supernatural, and yes, I'm still as in love with the idea of this being a reference as I was the last time I played this game, but anyway. The idea of Hypernatural is that you're always playing a hunter, you can pick 3 other hunters to play as the AI, and a main ghost master. And depending on who you pick for what roles, they'll get XP depending on whether or not they'll win or lose. It's not much, but if you don't feel like grinding against the missions over and over again, actually it's a lot easier than it was in the previous game to actually grind, obviously, because I somehow managed to get extremely overpowered extremely quickly. You can pick between 4 people, one of whom is clearly a reference to Sam and Dean. There is also a card called the Dean Drive, and one of the main monsters, one of the main ghosts that you have to hunt down is the freaking, is the freaking car from Supernatural. But they've all got their own different bonuses to either movement or attacking. We'll pick Ace, because I like having the bonus to attack. So everybody gets a hand, everybody gets 2 cards to start off with. And then when it's your turn, you get to draw 2 more cards. And then you can spend those cards to either move across the field, attack, or use their bonuses. The idea is you have to hunt down the ghosts. And the ghosts, once you're within 1 square of them, you'll be able to, you'll get a little bit of a hint up in the top right there. And if you're on the right square as them, you'll be able to attack them. I'm not going to attack because I'm 99% sure I'm nowhere near one of the ghosts. And one of these ghosts is the target ghost. If you take that ghost out, you win. But if you take out one of the other 3 ghosts, you will get a... Yep, those are some of the card effects being used. Every card has an effect that can be used. Well, not every card, but most cards have an effect that can be used on someone else. Damn, bastard stole all my cards. That guy using the EMF detector, so if he hears the cries, yep, he managed to find the Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary takes 2 damage because he used an attack on it. The ghosts all move, and now I need to do what I can with the cards I've got. I will move if I can. And nope, there's still nothing here. That's not good for me. So when you attack the square that you're on, you will... if you get the ghost, obviously you do damage to them. If they die, they'll be flipped over. And if you get the right one... if you get the right ghost and it flips over and it says target, that means that player wins. But if they flip it over, you'll get either a bonus. If they're not, you'll get a bonus to either your move or your attack. So the idea is mainly moving around randomly until you can figure out where the ghosts are, because they move after they attack and stuff, so it's very hard to keep track of them. However, the AI has the annoying tendency of... yeah, look at that, dinghy drive. The AI has the annoying tendency of... and by the AI, I mean the AI players. They have the annoying tendency to... nope. Apparently I don't. Apparently it wasn't on the Rocky Land, which is unfortunate. The AI has the annoying ability to know almost exactly where the bloody ghosts are. And they also have the extraordinary luck of almost always getting the target. I've played a few games of this already, and 4 times out of 6, the target one was the first one to die. And it was extremely annoying, if you want me to be perfectly honest. But considering how much easier they've made... like, before you were capable of really grinding the missions, this was a main way of grinding, because... oh, come on. Before you were... brain working here. In the previous game, it was better to grind this for training points, but considering that you can actually get an absolute ton of... oh dear. Considering you can earn an absolute ton of training points via actually grinding on the missions and all that. Nope, there was nothing here. And I'm going to get attacked next turn. Because god damn it. The cries are often unclear. See? How was I supposed to know... yep, they won. How was I supposed to know the target was there though? Is it supposed to be like they're hiding somewhere around the square? It's just, it's a little bit confusing trying to figure out where exactly you need to be in order to actually get the ghost. And as you can see, you earn stuff or resources from playing Hypernatural, which is a little disappointing because there's really no reason to play it now that the quests are easy as they are. But yeah, ignoring the fact that Hypernatural is basically useless in this slightly rebalanced version of the game, I still like Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters. It's still a pretty neat game. It's just, yeah, the story thing still annoys me, honestly. And all they really added to this version is a bunch of new story levels, basically. I mean, I can't imagine what they would add that would really change how this game works, because considering all the original content is still here, they have to keep this stuff in the loop. So basically, the only thing they could really do is have it be different levels. Also, you can swap and talk to individual people, but... yeah, you can talk to them, and if you say the right thing, you'll get more bonds with them, and and you can have them, like, become real friends with you or stuff like that. It's kind of neat, but... yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a neat game. I just find it a little bit over the top that they've decided to release almost exactly the same game again, and chances are it's going to be for the same price as the original was, and it just seems a bit over the top to me. I guess if you ignored the first game, then it might actually be worth picking up now, but it is still really the same game, so if you still didn't like the look of it then, you might not like the look of it now, but they have rebalanced it, they have made it a little bit easier, they have made it easier to grind and stuff like that, so it's not that bad. And it's still an interesting game, so it's a recommendation-ish, more or less. Yeah, that's all I got. And I just basically spent 45 minutes talking about exactly the same game that I talked about like a year ago. So, I'm just going to save here. I might actually keep playing this game if I can find room on my other Vita's memory card to download it to. But then again, I said the same thing about Aegis of Earth, Protonovus Assault. Because that game was pretty neat too. That game was published by Axis too, wasn't it? It's kind of neat. But yeah, hopefully you've seen enough. I mean, I did basically steamroll everything, but, you know, compared to last time where I'm pretty sure I lost like 2 out of 3 missions, but yeah, it is still a neat game, and I probably would recommend you pick it up either way. I just still think it's kind of weird. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.